You're listening to Gamedaytarps podcast, coast to coast, with your hosts, Ryley, Dakota, Dallas, Daeden, and Wilbs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of the Gamedaytarps podcast. Today, we've got a special one, another guest joining us today. This time, it's Halifax Mooseheads defenseman Brady Schultz.
Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube and make sure to follow us all on our socials, Gamedaytarps and Daeden at Blue Nose Hockey.
And without further ado, let's get into this one.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 41 of the Gamedaytarps podcast. Today, we're joined by a special guest, Brady Schultz, defenseman for the Halifax Mooseheads. Brady, how's it going, man?
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
No, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
So let's just jump right into it. How was the drive up from Connecticut? First American player on the podcast.
Yeah, it's a long drive. I leave early in the morning. Not much when you get up into Maine and stuff, but it's probably about like 11 hours or so. So a lot of music, a lot of podcasts, but it is what it is.
Lots of trees to look at, eh?
Yeah, there's a couple spots where I don't see houses for hours. It's not the best.
Now,
What kind of podcasts you like listening to?
I listen to Spin Chicklets a lot. Obviously, that's a go-to.
Have to.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are hilarious. So probably that one.
They opened the door for us, obviously, the hockey podcast world, right? So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully in the near future, this will be one you'll be listening to as well. Gamedaytarps.
Yeah. Honestly.
So Brady, I noticed that your brother, he actually is playing for the Amherst Ramblers this season. Did he make the tour up with you?
No, he was a week later. They didn't start till a week later, so he went up the week after I left. But yeah, he's playing in Amherst this year, so excited I'll probably be able to catch a few games here and there.
Yeah, they've got a really loud barn up in Amherst. It gets loud up there.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about their fans, and I think I've seen their rink once. It looks pretty nice, so it's a good spot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you. We had a guy from London on here a couple weeks ago. He said London, the Budweiser Gardens, one of the biggest and loudest rinks in the CHL. But I've been to other side. I've been to the Scotiabank Center a few times, a fair amount of times, and I think that one gets pretty loud. I want to get your opinion. What do you think of the Scotiabank Center and the fans and the atmosphere?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously biased here, but I think it's the best in the CHL. Like it's the fans, they're amazing. They're loud. They cheer for everything. Like I go back to when we were in the finals 2 years ago, like the loudest building ever. It was amazing. Like every time we would score, it's just like you get goosebumps. We got a great goal horn and song and whatever too. So, yeah, I'm biased, but I think that it's awesome.
I wanted to bring that up too. So last year in the playoffs, you guys brought back the "Just Can't Stop the Moose." It obviously you didn't get to hear it that much, but what's your favorite? Do you like the bagpipes, or do you like the "Don't Stop the Moose"?
I mean, like I haven't heard that much of the "Don't Stop the Moose." I guess it's a throwback, right?
Right.
So, I didn't mind it when they played it, but I like the bagpipes. I'm a big bagpipes fan.
Yeah, me too. I definitely take the bagpipes any day.
Yeah.
So you definitely love to play in front of the home crowd. Now, what team do you really get the most pumped up, the most passionate in as an away opponent coming into the Scotiabank Center?
I would probably say like Moncton, probably Moncton or Cape, I would say, because those games are always, you always get a little something else with those games between us, especially the times I've been here. So I would definitely say Moncton or Cape for sure.
Now, I mean, it's kind of obvious. You got a couple of familiar faces on the Wildcats this season. How's it going to be welcoming Dylan McKinnon and Marcus Vidicek back to the Scotiabank Center?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little weird. I mean, I came in with those guys first year. Still, some of my best buddies, still talk to them all the time. Don't think it's going to be that fun playing against them. I think it's it's going to be a battle for sure. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think they're two great guys, two great players. So it's exciting to play against them and see a different side of it. But yeah, they're great.
Yeah, hopefully you won't have to go into the corners against Macker anytime soon.
I told him when he got traded, I was like, "Don't come into my corner, man. You don't want to come in my corner." But yeah, we joke around all the time, so it's good.
That's good.
We love to throw this out usually to guys coming on, just getting a gauge across the CHL. Like, what's your favorite rink to go to? Either whether you play well in it, or the crowd is fantastic and gets you into the game, or the atmosphere. Like, where do you like to play in the Quebec League?
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious answer is probably the Videotron there with the Ramparts. I mean, that rink's unbelievable. NHL rink. It's like their fan are wild too. So, and I got a taste of it when it was sold out in the finals, right? So, it was pretty electric. So I think most of the boys get kind of more fired up going to that rink just because it's you feel more of like a pro.
Yeah, awesome. It's like 18,000 fans or something.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Yeah, so honestly, you're an American-born player, but like not a lot of you come up to the Q. I want to know like what kind of triggered you to say like, yeah, let's go north of the border and play some junior hockey.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't really know much about the Q CHL. I wasn't really thinking that route, growing up, and especially New England area and in the States, it's pretty much college hockey's like the alma mater there, right? It's the biggest thing. So I went to prep school for a year in New York during COVID. Didn't play that many games. My agent at the time, he was like, "Why don't you just go up to Halifax?" And they drafted me like 14th round or something like that. I went up. I was just gonna go for 48 hours just to see what it was like, what the players were like. My agent told me it was, all good things there, so I gave it a shot, and I fell in love with it right away. I kept staying and staying couple more days, and then it just got to the point where I was like, I gotta decide here or going back home. And honestly, with COVID and everything going on, the college was kind of backed up a little bit. Like I didn't know if I wanted to go as a freshman and like 21 years old or something like that, right? But I ended up deciding in like my parents in like a Subway parking lot. I was like, all right, this is gonna be it, right?
It's happening.
So yeah, ended up signing there. They're like, they wanted me, and I didn't have really any offers. I didn't really have a USHL team or any junior team really. So it was either that or going back to prep school. And I thought for just development wise, I thought that it was just a better route for me. Ended up signing, played a preseason game. Parents dropped me off at my billet's doorstep and said goodbye, and that was it. They had to ship. I had two pairs of clothes because that's all I packed for. Had to go out and buy some clothes for a month or so before they could ship me everything. But yeah, it was kind of just it was a whirlwind, and it was I don't regret it at all. It was a great decision.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
jump into the future just a little bit here. Speaking of college, are you hoping that maybe you can now take advantage of this potential merger between CHL and NCAA at the end of this year? So, like, you were saying, oh, I don't want to be a 21-year-old freshman, but now you actually have the chance to come
Yeah,
out of the CHL and go to NCAA.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. I know there have been talks about it, kind of whispers about it the last couple years, but it's kind of gotten a lot of traction recently. It's definitely not something that I would shy away from if the opportunity came. I think that would just have to be a talk between me, my agent, my family, and stuff like that if it came down to it. But for sure, gonna keep an eye on that.
Yeah, just go back to
Awesome.
another subway parking lot and have another talk.
I know the subway parking lots is deep conversations in there.
Yeah, it's every
So,
hockey
be-
player's meeting point. Absolutely.
Exactly.
so before getting drafted to the Halifax Mooseheads, like, have you ever been up to Canada previous before playing for Halifax?
Yeah, I mean, you always get those tournaments up in Canada, like Toronto, Montreal area. I've never been up to Halifax before I came up here for camp. So I knew of the Mooseheads just from, the guys that have come through here, like McKinnon and Drouin and stuff like that. But no, I've never been to Halifax. I don't think I've been to the Maritimes, honestly, before I came up to for training camp, but probably just Toronto, Montreal area for little tournaments here and there.
Yeah, so a lot of people say like the Maritimes are actually the closest provinces you could get to like the states in the New England area. Did you find much of a difference when you came up? Was there much to adjust to?
Um, Honestly, not really. Like, I it was my first year. I had two other Americans, Davis and Zach Jones. So they were both from Massachusetts. So they kind of helped me with the process and everything. But wasn't really much. I mean, the people here are a lot nicer than they are back home. Nova Scotians are really nice. So not really much to adjust to. No.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely take that compliment. So,
Yeah.
no,
Well, it's true. They are.
Yeah,
Compared to the
they're
rest of Canada,
insane.
like, I ought to say, like, they are
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. The people here are amazing.
so
Because, like,
no, go ahead. Dan.
personal experience, like for myself, like I've lived in Ontario, close to Toronto, and then I spent some time in Nova Scotia, up in Cape Breton Island, in Sydney, and then now I live in not Nova Scotia, sorry, Kamloops, British Columbia, and now like you kind of get a certain feel of like the people that you're
Yeah,
around, the communities, right? And I definitely find that people out in the Maritimes are hell of a lot nicer and happy-go-lucky than anywhere
yeah,
else here in Canada.
for
So
sure, for sure.
So just jumping back about a year or two ago, back to the 2022-2023 playoffs where you guys went to the finals against Quebec. But even before that, you steamrolled Cape Breton, you gentlemen swept the Moncton Wildcats, and then boom, you're down 0-2 to Sherbrooke, a stacked team with guys like Brabenette, Spacek, and Tyson Hines. Like, how did you come into a Sherbrooke rink and just like not back down? Like, how was that experience?
Yeah, like I still say to this day, like that whole playoff run was probably like the most fun I've ever had playing hockey in my career. Like we knew going into playoffs, like we had a really special team. I think a lot of people thought we could get past Cape and Moncton. Not saying those were easy series, but we had some confidence. And then Sherbrooke was they were a hell of a team. They had so many guys that are playing pro right now or going to be playing pro in the future, right? The first two games, I think we were a little on our heels a bit. Um, I think that the game two, the like third period or so, we completely outplayed them. We ended up losing in OT, but we came back in that locker room and we were like, we totally got these guys. Like we know what it takes to beat them and stuff like that. And we went into Sherbrooke really with the mindset of you got nothing to lose, right? You're already down 0-2. Um, yeah, and we just, I mean, our team was so gelled together. We were so tight. Like, still talk to all those guys to this day. And yeah, we just went in. We just game by game is really all you could do there, right? So we knew if we went back to Halifax 2-2, I knew we had a really good shot of winning the series. But it was it was definitely a battle for sure.
Yeah, how about Alex Doucette tying the game in overtime, game two, and then heading into his hometown and scoring a hat trick in game three, or it was game three or game four, one of the two games. But he put on a show there for his hometown fans.
Yeah, he was an amazing player, great teammate. I mean, the guy was I mean, that whole playoff run, he was just a different animal. Especially, I mean, that Sherbrooke series, he really pushed us over the edge there. So, in front of his hometown too. So he was fired up for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Is there any like specific players that you model or idolize your game off of growing up as a hockey player?
Yeah. So I growing up, I was a kind of a diehard Flyers fan. My grandpa actually played for the Flyers, so I was kind of a Flyers fan. But growing up in New England, you got the Bruins and stuff like that. But honestly, like I always liked, I looked up to Eric Carlson, just the way that guy could move the puck and skate, and just he was good defensively too. So I'd say Eric Carlson probably the most I've modeled my game after growing up. Obviously, you got like Cale Makar now, who this stuff he does on the blue line and walks the blue, like it's unreal. So you look at guys like that, but probably Eric Carlson was the first guy I was like I want to play like that guy.
Well, that brings me to this clip that I was going to bring up. Your overtime winner against Moncton, 5-4, when they came back, or when they almost came back, sent it to overtime, and you started behind your own net, wheeled the whole length of the ice, and put it home for the game winner. That's definitely one of my favorite clips, and you definitely showed some Eric Carlson-esque skating skills.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I do want to ask you one more question. This is kind of more about Tyler Long. How's Tyler like? How does he uplift your team? Like always being around the boys. How's the relationship with Tyler?
Tyler's awesome, man. Like I came in my first year. He was like the first guy I met. He's at the door. He knows everybody's name. Whether I mean, I was an American kid. No one knew who I was. 14th round. Like I mean, I wasn't even really supposed to be there. He knew my name. Everyone like he knows everybody's name every year. The guy we love. Like he's the first guy to crack jokes at us, right? We got a great banter between us. But yeah, he's awesome. Like he's a great positive energy around the rink. I mean, I haven't met a guy that hasn't liked him, honestly. And it's going to my fourth year. Like we're super close. So, yeah, he's awesome for sure.
Yeah, every time he's up on the jumbotron, he's waving the flag. He's happy. He's got a smile on his
Yeah,
face. I mean,
yeah.
it's got to be awesome.
Like
I like that.
win or lose, like that guy, he's the happiest guy ever. It's just great to have that type of energy around the rink, right? Like you're having a bad day or a bad practice, bad game, like you pass Tyler, you're automatically smiling, right? Like that's just the type of guy he is. So it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So last year, you came off your career best, 57 points, 67 games played, right? Obviously, so you said Eric Carlson, you've noted Kel McCarr. Like, do you try to be more offensive as you're getting older in the CHL? Are you trying to become more of a two-way? What kind of style are you going for right now in your career?
Yeah, like I think over the years, I think my offensive game has grown. I knew I always had it. I think I've gotten more confident and confident throughout the years. I always have loved playing the body, playing physical. I always prided myself on that. Like defensively, I think I've gotten so much better over these last couple years, and it's something I take pride of. So I would probably say just like a solid two-way game. Like I want to be out there for the power play or the penalty kill or, last 2 minutes of the game, whether we're up a goal or down a goal. Like I want to be the guy out there. So just anything I could do to really help the team is kind of what I'm just aiming for.
Any like particular player in the queue that it's particularly hard to shut down when you're playing against in your own zone?
Um, yeah, I mean, you always get those guys. Like, I don't know off the top of my head, but like, I mean, I guess I would probably say like going back. talking about the finals. Like I think I was matched up with Gaucher. Just solid, big guy, power forward. Just hard to knock off the puck. Just like those guys. That's probably one guy that stands out.
I mean, I had to ask because, like, we all know 4 out of the last 5 years, a QMJHL team has won the Memorial Cup. Like, you guys are just so much faster, so much more skilled than compared to the other, other
Yeah,
leagues. So it's just crazy. Like, I know
yeah. I mean, I also
there's some standout guys, but
yeah. I mean, I also played with Jordan Dumais for 3 years and watching that guy in practice and making me look silly in practice. So he's just another guy that I'm glad I didn't have to play against. But yes, I would say him, like just watching him game in and game out, like the stuff he would do with the puck was just unbelievable.
Yeah, wasn't it like 5 points he put up in his first game back from the World Juniors this season? It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's literally like just he has the puck on his stick. There's over 50% chance it's probably going in the back of the net.
Yeah,
So it's definitely a guy that was good to play with for sure.
yeah. It's on rookie mode when Dumais out there.
Yeah.
So you have been obviously in the CHL, basically in this whole NHL transition of Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, and walking the line. Are you able to share with us like some of the things that coaches have kind of adjusted to getting you off the wall into the middle of the ice quicker? Like, are you putting, like, I notice a lot of defensemen now are keeping their body outside the blue line, but the puck in the blue line just to give yourself even that much more space? Like, what are things that you're working on to walk that line and stay in control?
Yeah, I think like you touched on it. Like you want as much space as you can, right? So I think you just like I work on just kind of keeping my feet in motion. Like as I'm getting the puck, you don't want to be stand still on the wall. Like kind of close yourself off on the wall. You want to get it, and you want to have as much space as possible, right? Time and space is it's a it's a it's a huge it's a good thing to have in the league, and it's hard to get. So if you could buy that extra second for yourself, if you're a foot away or 2 feet away, that's an extra second to make a better play than just kind of whacking it away because you have a guy on you. But yeah, like walking the blue line, I think that's such a huge skill for defensemen, and especially guys that want to produce offense. It's definitely a skill that you should work on for sure.
And if you're not, maybe say the NCAA route doesn't open up, do you have kind of a plan for next year, or are you just going to play out this year and see where it goes? Like, because as an overager, have any teams like reached out to you about like potential PTOs like in the pros, or like has anyone just commented or reached out saying, hey, they're watching you this year for next year, anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a play out the season, see where that gets me. I got a lot of confidence in myself going into the season, and building on what I did last year. I still think I have a lot more to show. So I think kind of just see where the season takes me, and hopefully get some sort of contract or something like that, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we just saw Lou Felix Denis get signed to the Reading Royals in the ECHL after he was tearing up some ball hockey league in Quebec.
yeah, yeah, it was he just signed there, so he was good for him. He was great player, and I know he's excited for sure.
Yeah, there's always a shot. I definitely think there's going to be some offers coming your way for sure. But
Thank you.
I want to
100%.
I want to ask you this. It's kind of a little bit off the ice, but whenever I go on and I see a post by Brady Schultz or see a post by the Mooseheads or one of the players, you and Liam Welsh are always going back and forth at each other, 0-1 or something like that. What's that all about? Tell me about your relationship with Liam Welsh.
Yeah, Welshie's me and Welshie. We go at it all the time. It's just great. We chirp each other all the time. We got a great relationship. He's such a funny guy. Probably one of the funniest guys I've ever met. So we always hit each other with jokes and stuff. And the 0-1 thing, it's like if you say a joke, you don't get too many laughs. It's a 0 for 1. You kind of struck out on that one. So We go back and forth all the time. So, you're bound to miss on a joke here and there, and we definitely let each other know when it happens. So, yeah, we love going at it for sure.
Yeah, I
For
wasn't
sure.
sure if it was like a friendly teammate kind of thing or if it was like, man, like
Oh
actually button
yeah,
head.
yeah. No, I love that guy. He's awesome, and definitely one of my better friends.
Yeah, it seems like the whole like core that you grew up with and or not grew up with but got drafted with kind of stuck together all the way through and like you all seemed really close.
Yeah, like those guys are some of my best buddies. Like we've been through a lot together, like ups and downs. We came in as rookies together. We battled through that. From losing in the finals to getting swept last year. It's just pretty much as you could go through with a group of guys we've been through, and it's just made us stronger friends and definitely lifetime buddies.
Yeah, the 100%
Is there any
helps
like
in the locker room.
is there anything favorite places or off ice activities that you and the boys get to do when you're having an off day?
Yeah, like I've been golfing. We go golfing a lot, as much as we've been trying to get out as much as we can before it gets a little colder here. We got a lot of good golfers on the team, so we do that. But usually, like when it's winter time or whatever, like we'll go see a movie now and then. Like we'll go out to dinner, or like we'll honestly maybe hit up Palladium or something if we're that bored. But
Yep.
Right
yeah,
on.
like anything to really just hang out and just be with each other. Really, we'll do whatever. Honestly.
Who's the best golfer on the team? Maybe the worst golfer.
So Jack Martin is definitely the best golfer. I went out with him the other day. He shot like a 73.
Yes, sir.
He's a player for sure. We got a couple guys that just took up golfing. We just the other day, like this weekend, because we got it off, we had like the whole team out golfing. So I got to see some couple of the rookie swings, which weren't looking too good. But um, I'm not going to call any of them out on the
No
spot
worries.
because, but yeah,
What a
but
leader.
it's all fun and
Good
games.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually brings up another point, Ryley. You said it, not me, but Brady. There's obviously two big choices in the room this year: Braden McPhee and yourself. What do you think it would mean? Like, what would it mean to you to wear the C for the Mooseheads?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten that question a lot from fans and stuff, and it's something that obviously is there, and it'd be a great honor if you look at all the captains that have, you know, played here, and even the captains that I've had here have been phenomenal. It'd be such an honor, just great. It's a great organization, a great franchise, and for them to be able to put their trust in me if it does happen would be huge. And McPhee is just a guy that he's also another guy that's just an amazing guy, like probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. So either way, I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't get it. I think it'd be good hands if he got it. But yeah, it's just I haven't thought about it that much. Just trying to kind of, it is there in the back of my mind. It's kind of hard not to think about it. But yeah, it'd be an honor for sure.
Yeah, McPhee's a gamer too. He goes and he puts his head or heart on the line every game. So
Yeah, exactly.
either way, I think the Moose are in good hands this year. But I want to bring this up. You guys, we just mentioned younger players or rookies, and Carlos Hondel coming over from Germany, the import player on the back end. I actually got to watch him at the Dartmouth or at the RBC Center in Dartmouth against the Wildcats the other day, and he looks solid. And I want to know what you think of him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know really anything. I saw a couple clips from Holinka, where he had that nice goal, a couple good clips. Knew he was a good player, but he's a great guy. He speaks pretty good English. Definitely better than
Nice.
some of the other Euros in the past, which is definitely a little bit easier. But yeah, he's got all the tools to be a top tier player in the league, and I'm excited to play with him this year.
I want to bring it back to talking about honor, right? So when you think about each league in the CHL, right? So QMJHL, first team that comes to my mind is Halifax, right? Like you mentioned McKinnon and stuff like that comes
Right.
to your head. You talk about the OHL, you're thinking London Knights. You talk about the WHL, you're probably thinking Kelowna Rockets or something like that. Unfortunately for us guys from Kamloops, they're our biggest rival, but true story. Kelowna comes to mind, the Drysidles, the Foot brothers, right? Like just throughout,
Yeah.
they have so many good players that have played there all throughout their time. So being one of the teams that come to mind when you think of a league, like what is that honor like playing for one of these most historic and large franchises like the Halifax
Yeah.
Mooseheads?
Like I said, like coming up here, I knew like little to nothing about the league in general, but obviously everyone in hockey kind of knows who the Mooseheads are, and you don't realize it till you play for them, and the logo, and the fans here, the people, they take it so serious, and it's the community here, they just back us it so well, and it's literally like I can't even describe how like the feeling it is, like the amount of the respect that they have for us, and thick and thin, like the fans are there through it all, and you know you see it, like the amount of players that want to play here
Mm-hmm.
is, it's the top one team that anybody wants to play for. And I was just lucky enough to get drafted by here and make the team, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I mean it's turned out better than I could have imagined. And this franchise has done so much for me and my game. I have nothing but good things to say about it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Well, Brady, we want to respect your time. We've gone a half hour. You've been a great guest for us. I want to say thank you, just straight up, for coming on, hopping on, taking this half hour to your day, and giving us some interesting stories, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, man.
Much
Anytime.
appreciated, Brady.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
All right, man. Have a good rest of your
hopefully
day.
I'll be out to Halifax to catch a game at the Scotiabank this center or
Yeah.
or this season. I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, man.
Awesome.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
buddy.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into episode 41 of the Gamedaytarps podcast. We want to thank Brady Schultz for hopping on, taking a half hour out of his day, and we wish him the best of luck this coming season.
And like we mentioned before the podcast, please like and subscribe this channel, Gamedaytarps Podcast. Follow us on all social medias under the same handle. Follow Daeden at Blue Nose Hockey. We want to thank Daeden. He pulled the guest in for this episode. It was awesome. And then our other partners, Dakota, who's not here, and Wilbs at Wilbs Puck on all social medias. So thank you again.
And we look forward to seeing you in the next one for episode 42 of the Gamedaytarps podcast.